Dark treasure. Dark treasure. Dark treasure.
Left to right, shake that booty all night. Up, down, left to right, shake that booty all night. Up, down, left to right, shake that booty all night. Up, down, left to right, shake that booty all night. You and all your friends ain't got no plans, so baby, dance tonight.
I take my eyes off Margaret ahead for a moment to explain to Bemele and stop dead in my tracks. Only one word is able to escape me in my stunned state. Behind Bemele stands another figure looming in the darkness. Seeing my face, Bemele grabs the hilt of his sword. He whips around, then staggers swiftly backwards. You took out your sword, but now you're not sure of your sword? Come on, Bemele. I thought you were, Hampson warrior guy. Stand up for yourself. Several meters away, a crooked, twisted black figure hobbles its way towards us. Some kind of liquid drips off its head, curling around the edges of its face. It almost looks as if it's crying. Bemele backs up until he's standing beside me. The figure continues its slow advance, head jerking from one angle to another. Bemele, you gotta use your sword, dude. Come on.
What on earth?
It's one of them.
Yes, Nixie that stumble across the bridges looking for opportunities.
The guide is standing next to us. I didn't even notice him approach.
The ones that can make it out of the water are generally referred to as prowlers.
Ugh.
I had no idea things like that were out here. Is that what Kika saw down the other path?
How did you not know things like that were out here? That's why you have a guide. Okay. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding. Let me not get angry at the chick. The guide says nothing, instead returning to the front of the party. Margaret watches him pass. Her frustration morphs into nervous optimism when something seems to come into her mind.
Well, Nixie aren't slowed down much by swords, but at least the light keeps them away, right?
Margaret's hand grips her face tight, and desperation bleeds into her voice. I bite the inside of my lip.
Direct light will force it to return to the lake. However, it'll try to drag the light, or you, down with it before it goes.
Okay. So, why not use fire? Instinctively, I reach for the hilt of my sword, despite the fact that it would do little to protect me. The prowler is getting closer, jerking forward, stopping, then resuming its slow advance. So, swords don't help, light helps, and each of you only have one lantern, when you could have been holding like two.
Okay, does anyone have a light we can leave here? That way it won't follow us.
Again, everybody should have had two lanterns.
Only matches.
Holy crap, you guys are not prepared for this trip. Bemele spits. He's the one bringing up the rear, so he's the one most likely to be in danger if it keeps following. The guide, however, moves forward.
Don't forget it's there, don't let your guard down, and don't get left behind.
What? How am I supposed to keep walking with this thing at my heels? You said it wants to attack.
Yeah, guide. Guide with no name.
Don't give it the chance.
How, guide with no name? Bemele sputters in anger, and the guide summarily ignores him. I solidly grab hold of Bemele's upper arm. I have called him Bem. From now on, we're just saying Bem.
Here, I'll lead you like this, and you can keep your focus solely on the prowler. Make sure it doesn't get too close.
Okay. Bem eyes the guide with unresolved hostility, but allows himself to softly sigh in relief. He gazes at me with fondness.
At least there's someone I can count on.
Yes, you can count on me, Bem. You really can. Despite the fact I'm going against his advice, the guide says nothing more. It's clear now that he doesn't give a damn what we end up doing. Some part of me is glad for that. Yeah, he's just gonna walk you out there because somehow he's not in danger. The rest of you are all just fodder. How much did you guys pay him? I want to help everyone make it through, and it would be worse to have to persuade the guide every time help was necessary.
Kika, thank you.
Bim places a gentle hand on my shoulder. Should I place my hand over his or nod seriously? This isn't the time. Well, I'll place my hand over his. I feel Bim start as I reciprocate his touch. Why does that word sound so weird? But just as quickly, a smile replaces his shock. The moment is pleasant, a small balm against a large burn. I harden my expression, and Bim follows suit. He moves his free arm down. I fully link his arm with mine, and now properly settled, look forward. Margaret is following the guide with some reluctance, turning back every so often to check on us. I wave my lantern. I wave my lantern to signal we're catching up. Margaret returns her head to the front and quickens her pace. With a tug on Bim, we start to follow them. The four of us continue cautiously over the bridges, only this time the wet, squishing footsteps of the prowler joins the sound of our own. In spite of myself, I grip Bim tighter. The prowler walks without a set pattern, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. It takes long steps, then short ones. At times, it stops walking entirely. Does it hurt to be out of the water like this? Or is it trying to be difficult to read? How smart is it? Suddenly, the whispering in the lake grows louder. I steel myself, trying not to let it get to me. The most important thing in a situation like this is to remain calm. I can't lose my head. Then, all at once, I notice the guide and Margaret have come to a halt. Uh-oh.
Bemele, they're stopping.
Uh-oh. Bim slows down as I do, and we near Margaret's back. She says something akin to distress.
There's another one.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. I tug on Bim and he understands. We draw up close to Margaret, ready to protect her if need be, but the guide holds out a hand.
Don't get any closer.
Just over his shoulder, I see another prowler stumbling towards us, white liquid dripping from its eyes. The guide's hand turns over in the air, palm up.
Give me a lantern. We'll throw it.
Why don't we have extra lanterns? We could have been prepared for this, so that when we throw a lantern, we still have one. Margaret extends her own with a trembling hand when Bim speaks instead, his back still turned.
If you have to take someone's, take mine.
Bim, you're gonna die. You need your lantern.
Yes, an extra light won't do us much good when we're standing this close together.
Yes, it will. She's in the middle. You should have taken Margaret's. Margaret takes Bim's lantern from him, guarded relief displayed on her features.
Thank you.
She hands the lantern to the guide, whose hand grips it tightly, knuckles growing pale. You better not miss.
Stay here. I can't throw it too far. The light will blow out before it reaches the Nix.
Sorry, vaping. It's my thing. He steps closer to the monster, his movements light and confident. As he nears, the prowler starts to back away. Is it only the approaching light that's making it retreat, or are they afraid of him? I think he's got some kind of prowler Nix blood, and that's why his father didn't accept him, and that's why he doesn't have a name. He is part creature. The guide is far enough away from us that the fog is partially obscuring him, hiding his movements. The voices from the lake grow louder and louder. Water suddenly begins to splash across the lake, in the distance, and onto the edges of the bridge. They want him to mess up. Then suddenly, the guide takes multiple long and fast strides forward, throws the lantern, and jumps backwards to regain the lost distance. There's a sharp hiss, and then a deep splash, and the voices of the Nixie grow quieter. Not silent, but quieter. A sigh escapes me, and the guide comes back to our group. See, here's the thing. He's the guide, right? Wouldn't he bring extra lanterns himself? Like, I don't know, hang them on himself so that when he guides people across, they have them just in case? That's just me. That's just me thinking. I'm thinking that this is illogical not to have more lanterns, especially when you know that light is the only thing that protects you, and we're in this olden time type situation where we only have lanterns. Why couldn't we have had some, what are those things called? Stick with fire. Fire stick. Torch. That's what it's called. Why couldn't we have a torch? It's old-timey. I mean, Bim has matches. You could have had torches too. So you could have had a lantern. You could have hang that from your belt or something. And then you could have had torches and matches so that you could set them on fire and throw them at the Nixie when they came out of the water. Tell me that doesn't sound logical to you. Tell me it does not. Meow. Just meow.
We should keep going before it comes back.
I glance at Bim and realize he too is looking relieved at the guide before us. And then I see it. Oh, the first prowler. It's still there. It's right there. That, you know, this isn't a super scary thing, and it's not a jump scare, but I wasn't prepared for the close-up. Oh, pull him forward. Okay. I shift around, pulling Bim behind me. The prowler lunges after him, barely missing Bim, but striking my lantern instead. The fire goes out, and the two of us are plunged into an unearthly darkness. Well, crap-a-doodle. Then there is a slick splash. I realize the Nyx has retreated into the water. Somehow, Bim and I are still standing. We're still here. And we don't have a lantern. Margaret better give hers up because we're at the back. She's in the middle. That's how she's protected. Come on, people. Let's be logical. And as safe as possible in this situation. Sorry, I'm getting hyped up on this story.
Kika, thank you.
I can't respond. Something cold, wet, and slimy has grabbed my ankle. No, Kika, no! Oh, kick it off! Kick it off! I kick my leg out as fast as I can, and the Nyx hold slips. It can't pull with the momentum I've gained against it. Margaret rushes to my side, her lantern hanging out towards the Nyx. The light brushes its face. We see it for an instant, its eyes wide, and then it slides back into the smooth surface of the water. Bim grabs Margaret and I both, helping us toward the center of the bridge and cussing under his breath.
I only looked away for 1 second.
It's fine, Bemele. We're all fine.
Are you actually all right?
Yeah. Margaret cocks her head down, examining my ankle, but there's nothing but a wet smudge around my trousers. Oh, you're infected? You're infected.
I am fine.
You're infected. I say that, though I don't actually want to let go of Bim. I need to in order to relight our lantern and provide us actual safety. Oh, good, we still have the lantern. I thought we lost it. But I feel such a strong desire not to be alone in this moment. I shake my head roughly and let go of him, relighting the lantern as fast as I'm able.
Kika, thank you. Again. You saved my life. I won't let this happen again.
You better not, Bim. I'm counting on you.
Yes. Yes. It would be good for all of us to pay more attention.
Gots to be more careful. Margaret nodded solemnly. Suddenly, it seems like we're all on the same side. It isn't only Bim and I. She is with us in more than simply presence. The guide's voice, as cold as that monster's grasp, ends my train of thought.
We lost the lantern I threw, and Nyx grabbed it after the light went out.
Margaret makes a noise. I glance over, wondering whether she's upset, but there's a small smile on her face instead.
It's better than them taking anything else.
That is true. A nervous laugh bubbles up out of me and just as quickly stops. Bimele chuckles in response, and our collective tension eases up, the adrenaline draining from our bodies.
We need to keep walking.
The guide starts down the bridge again, and we join him. I try to clamp down on the relief, the ease that wants to flood my head. It's not over. The prowler is gone, but so is Bim's lantern. Bimele. So we did lose a lantern. Oh no, that's the one that was thrown. Okay, got it.
You can stay near me, Bemele, since your lantern is lost.
Yeah, let's get all up on each other. I mean, we might die.
I appreciate it.
You better appreciate it. Margaret goes on ahead of us. Bim stays by my side as I keep at the end of the line. The breath of release for Margaret and Bim is quickly swallowed by the somber atmosphere of Sinlos as well, replaced by the gravity of the near-death experience. Never mind celebrating his survival. Something like that shouldn't have happened in the first place. The memory of the prowlers reaching out towards us appears each time I close my eyes. You should not be closing your eyes that long anyway, because you step off that bridge and you're done for.
Why does it look like something's dripping down their faces?
It's their blood. The prowlers are on Margaret's mind too. Looking at her pained expression, it's as if the moment of relief never existed at all.
I'm not sure.
Me neither. Something's wrong with them, though.
Well, they're not human, are they?
They live in water. Air shouldn't be good for the things, but they want to drown humans so much they're willing to drag themselves around on land? It's not right.
Isn't there a Japanese myth about something in the water like that? Maybe. Someone tell me. Of course it isn't. They are monsters. They likely do not understand even the concept of right and wrong.
Well, I don't disagree that there's something very wrong about them. I truly hope that's the last we'll see of the prowlers.
Something comes to her mind, causing Margaret to end her part of the conversation early.
Since you two have to share a light, wouldn't it be safer to be in the middle?
How about you give us your light and you stay in the middle? Margaret stops and waits for Bim and I to reach her position.
That way, you'll catch the edges of my light and the guides, and it won't be so dangerous if Bimele loses his position momentarily.
But if you want to be in the back and get snatched, I mean, you're pretty, but you can go. You're not as pretty as Bim. Sorry.
That's
Well,
a very
actually, you are as
kind
pretty as
offer,
Bim.
Margaret.
Sorry, I'm talking over them, but... I don't know. I really do feel like we should stay in the middle as if I'm going to be a nice person. My jerk side says let her be on the end, and if she gets snatched, she gets snatched. Bim's surprise is so apparent, I want to cover his face with my hands to stop him from insulting her. She merely smirks. I think Margaret may be surprised with herself, too. Bim returns to his usual surety.
As thoughtful as it is, I, at least, am fine with bringing up the rear. I'm used to keeping watch for monsters, and since there are two of us, I can pay attention to the back while Kika focuses ahead.
Yeah, that sounds like the best bet. She could still give us her lantern.
It's not my light, though, so I shouldn't be the one to decide what she should do with it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to make a decision, aren't I? Margaret and Bim turn to look at me in unison. Seems like it's my decision. Neither of them are wrong. As for me, my goal is to protect everyone. I can't very well do that with Margaret following behind us. Nope. But being stuck in the middle of the group could also be dangerous depending on what circumstances we come across. Getting pincered by the enemy would be an almost sure death, no matter how experienced Bim and I are. But we're trying to be the protectors. I just don't know what to expect from this bridge, and that makes things so much more difficult. Yeah, why didn't the guide, let us know what's going on with this? Don't just say, I don't like the guide. Oh my gosh. Current format.
You're staying behind?
Yes, we're staying behind. These timed responses, they freak me out, and I always feel like I'm not going to have enough time.
Seems like it.
Yes, I think we'll be good here. But really, thank you. That was a very kind offer.
Well, all right.
Now give me your lantern. Margaret respects our decision and trots ahead a bit to catch back up with the guide. He who has paid no mind to the entire affair. Yes, Bam?
So, I don't want to sound like a child, but how much longer until we arrive at the halfway point?
Are we there yet? Is that what you're saying, Bam? Margaret chuckles, reflecting the amusement I don't want to vocalize.
We still have some ways to go.
Damn.
I suppress my laughter yet again at his pouting response. The gloom we've been under dissipates slightly, like light flickering through the fog.
The first trial tends to be the most difficult. I believe we will only react better from this point on.
Well, if you start being nice, Margaret, and don't be so uppity, yeah, we'll be good.
I like the way you think.
Then a gleam enters Bim's eyes, and he grins.
I think Kika deserves a round of applause. Her quick reflexes are owed the utmost appreciation.
Aw, you're gonna make Kika blush. He leans softly into my shoulder, trying to get me to... what? I don't know. Shoulder him back, like rub shoulders?
It was indeed a sight. You're quite capable. Bemele was also a sight, but for very different reasons. The way he froze with his mouth all agape was a laugh in itself.
See, Margaret, you didn't have to say it like that. Bim shakes a fist at Margaret in mock anger, then shoots me an affectionate look.
You should know, she and I are usually on equal footing.
Yes.
The only reason you had footing at all is because she pulled you back.
Okay, Margaret. Bim laughs self-consciously, scratching his head.
That's very true. You can always count on Kika.
I got you. I keep my eyes steadily ahead, unsure how I should respond. I'm pleased, almost grateful to hear what they think of me, but I don't know what I could say that wouldn't seem pathetic. Instead, I contribute the best way I can. I keep my focus on the path ahead of us. Without a response from me, the conversation quickly dies out. Still, it eases my heart to be on such friendly terms with my companions. After some time, I notice Margaret isn't keeping up with the guide as much as she was before. What's going on, Margaret? I realize it's because the guide has increased his pace. Margaret begins to jog in an effort to keep up with him, and Bim and I do the same. Despite this, the guide keeps getting further away. Does he lead people out here to kill him? We go faster and faster until suddenly we're full on sprinting across the slick wooden boards. Figures in the dark fog fly past us at a blur, and it occurs to me that the branching paths in the bridge appear to be Sinking? Why are they sinking already? I thought he said it doesn't do that until sunlight. I try hard to swallow my rising panic. The guide shouts something, but it's drowned out by the frantic pounding of our footsteps. Why didn't he have us speed walking at the beginning? I'm trying to piece together what he said. Don't stop, turn, when he takes a masterfully sharp right down a different path using his own momentum and the sleek wood to slide into the new direction with no loss of speed. He's foot drifting. You can do that. Margaret must not have worked out the warning either, as she is completely caught off guard by the guide's change in course. She runs straight ahead past the turn and continues down the path we've been following up until now. I'm sorry. It's not a car. You're running. You can't turn? I can turn when I'm running. That's weird. She clumsily begins to halt her momentum down the wrong bridge. Then I come upon the fork. Turn. Oh my gosh, turn. Wait a minute, let me go back. How do I go back? I missed what they said. Come on, mouse. History? Oh my gosh, it's all the way at the beginning. There we go. Oh, no. Down, 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 down. Yeah, figures. Okay. I make a hard turn, following the guide and leaving Margaret at the rear. Ah, okay. Let's save. Save over this file? Yes. Bim's footsteps stay as loud as they were before. He's made the turn as close behind me as ever. I thought you guys were like holding shoulders and hands. I guess when you started running, you couldn't. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Margaret turn around to try and come back to us, only to have the bridge in front of her fall away. Jump, Margaret, jump. I slow down for a breath, feeling the impulse to turn back, but ignore it. There's no time. Margaret can make the jump, and then she'll rejoin us. See, like I said, jump. Jump, jump, Margaret. I keep my eyes glued to the guide's back, ears perked for Margaret's footsteps approaching behind us. And then I hear it. A scream. I whip around, sliding to a stop. Margaret is sinking. The bridge she's on is sinking into the water. Jump, daggone it, Margaret. Margaret, you get on my nerves. Jump. She's disappearing. She didn't jump. What is wrong with you? Do you not care about your life?
What are you doing?
See? I love it when the characters feel the same way I do. Kika understands. What are you doing? Jump. Margaret's head shoots up, her face drained of all color.
Jump!
Exactly. She stumbles near the edge of the bridge, staring at the placid water of the lake. Even from a distance, I can see her shaking. I can't say if it's from the bridge's descent or her own fear. She barely seems to remain standing. I swallow painfully. Margaret bends and tries to jump. She curves in a small arc, achieving more height than she should, and lands directly in the lake with a muted splash. Bim starts beside me, but I grab his hand and pull. We start running again, leaving Margaret flailing in the water behind us. Oh crap. We don't need to watch this. We both know exactly what will happen to her now. Margaret's anguished cries pierce the night. Then the screaming stops. My legs grow weak. It isn't right, but I push myself to keep going. Bim curses with between heavy breaths, calling those things every foul name in his large book. I try to focus on the pounding of my feet, but my brain won't cooperate. Instead, I imagine Margaret's terror as she's clawed to pieces by the Nixie. After everything, I didn't help her. We left her in the dark. As night wears on, our strength rapidly fades. How much longer will this last? People have to rest sometime. Almost as if a response to my thought, the guide abruptly halts. I skid to a stop as well, sliding on the surface of the wood.
Why did we stop?
Bim's voice is tired, but his guard is up. The guide doesn't answer, just stares at something slightly out of view. I step up to join him, following his gaze further down the path. A boy? There, curled in a little ball illuminated by the lantern's light, cowers a person. His hand grips his head, and he rocks from side to side, mumbling incoherently. What is going on? Why are you just sitting on the bridge?
It's a man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I just couldn't. Please. I'm sorry.
I'm struck with an array of questions. What is going on? Why would he wander out onto these bridges on his own? Did he make it this far by himself? Were there others with him? If that's somehow the case, I can't blame him for the state of shock he's in. The man stops mumbling. He glances above him, seemingly only just now having the strength to lift his head. His expression, the deepest sadness, along with the clear markings of terror, are scrawled across his face. I stare at him in shock, not sure what to do.
Leave him.
What the? Okay, when I first saw him, I was like, he's going to be a jerk. He's going to be an unfeeling jerk, right? He just has the look. Something about him, something about the way he's drawn. But what the flip? What the frackaldoodle? Why are we not, trying to protect this person? I snap my eyes away from the man and instead to the guide's cold, implacable face.
No! We can't just leave him here. Without light, it's certain he'll die.
Exactly.
He won't make it regardless.
Why? How do you know? The guide turns to look at us, his eyes seeming to glow from the closeness of his lantern. For the first time, I feel uncomfortable in his presence. I told you he's one of the Nixie. He's one of them things.
Whoever shelters him will only risk dragging themselves down with him. Leave him.
I glance at my partner. Bim is outraged. Yeah, Bim, I feel you. I'm trying to think of some kind of compromise when the guide speaks again, his voice cutting.
If the man comes, then whoever is shielding him will have to remain at a distance from the rest of the group. Far enough that you can't see me, just my light. That is how you will travel across the bridges.
But why? For why?
I didn't agree to lead this man, and I won't. If you ask me to, I will leave you all behind.
I don't know. I know I'm about to have to decide. That's why I haven't moved to the next screen. It's a life. Why is he doing this? Okay, as long as we can see his light. We just have to be far enough that we can see his light. That is dangerous, yes. And we only have one light with us. And did the man have a lantern? Okay. In real life, I couldn't just... it's just not in me. I wish it was, but it's not in me to leave somebody behind like that. Adrenaline surges through my veins, and I tense up. It's a painful reminder that the guide isn't here to save our lives, but merely to show us the way. We're on our own. Bim and I frantically share more looks between each other, trying to communicate without words. Neither of us have a desire to speak and be the first to make a choice. I'm gonna make the choice.
Dance tonight. You and all your friends ain't got no plans, so baby dance tonight. You and all your friends ain't got no plans, so baby dance tonight. You and all your friends ain't got no plans, so baby